farmhouse at the moment. We have a beautiful day. It's raining, it's overcast, the sun occasionally peeks through the clouds. Whenever the weather is like this, I cannot wait to get in the kitchen and I'm like, day of baking. I'm not sure, but rainy weather and baking is just magical. So today I am making some of my favorite things. I only bake a few things, and these are tried and true recipes that I use all of the time. Myself and my family loves them. They're quick, they're easy, and I do try to keep them somewhat healthy, have some sort of healthy element to it. Some of them are a little bit naughtier than others. The first thing I'm making today are my favorite. These are my naughty ones. These are the naughty ones I was talking about. I'm making sourdough choc chip cookies. These cookies are incredible. They are so good. You would expect to get this at the best cafe. I'm not sure. They're just gorgeous cookies. There are a lot of ingredients for this recipe, but the recipe itself is actually really quite simple. I've written it down in a way that's really simple for me. So you have your 3 different bowls. You have one that's dry, one that's wet, and then another one that's like kind of wet as well that you start with. And then you just beat them together. My little guy is just learning how to walk. We just had to have a little bit of a walking break. Okay, so I'm just making the last bowl now where I put the butter and the sugar in. I will leave this recipe link down below. Again, my favorite. It's not even my favorite sourdough choc chip recipe. I think this is my favorite cookie recipe, full stop. It is amazing. So you just beat the sugar and the butter together. Then you add in the chocolate. Normally I use choc chips. I only had like melts, so I just like chopped them up. It worked really good as well. You add that and then you add in the flour and again just beat it together. Just until it's all combined. And then you add in like the sourdough, like the wet mix. And you just stir that all, and that's all there is to it. It's really simple. And then we're just going to let this sit in the fridge. But before we do, we're just going to portion it out into balls. So at this stage, it's really quite sticky. So you just do your best to portion it out. And then we're going to stick it in the fridge for at least 2 hours. It can stay in there up to 12. And then later on, we're going to shape them and bake them. Okay, so next we're moving into my favorite muffin recipe of all time. I only keep a few really good recipes and I just make them again and again and again. This muffin recipe is amazing. And I really like it because it uses olive oil and Greek yogurt. Again, like healthier things, I feel. Super simple. You have, again, your dry bowl and then you have a wet bowl. And then you just combine them together and divvy it out into muffins. I am a really casual cook. I am just using like a 1 cup measurement for all of them and just guessing it. Oh my goodness. But it turned out so good. These recipes must be really forgiving. So it turned out really good. But some of my measurements have broken. So I only have a few measurements left. But I just guessed it and it worked out really good. Thank goodness. So yeah, now I've got my wet bowl and my dry bowl, and you want to combine these two together. Now the secret to this recipe is not over mixing this batter. And you also want to add the blueberries at this point as well. The recipe says 1.5 cups. I'm always quite generous with the blueberries. I love the blueberries in these muffins. They are so good. So you just want to mix that until it's just combined. And then we're just going to divvy them out into our muffin trays. I love using these silicone muffin trays. A good quality silicone tray is amazing. This one is really good. They come out so easy. I don't need to worry about liners or greasing the tray or anything like that. It works so good each time. We are just going to finish the tops of these. I just do a little sprinkling of raw sugar. Just adds this really beautiful top to them when they come out. Okay, so we are progressing nicely through the baking day today. This is my day off, and this is like the best way to spend a morning off. All this only took me a morning, and it was just the most beautiful morning. It was so much fun. So next we're gonna make some sourdough granola. This recipe again is one of my go-tos. It's so amazing. You can just add whatever you have going in your house. I didn't think I had anything, but I made this incredible granola and I found so many incredible things to add to it. So I did seeds, cacao nibs, I did almonds, I did peanuts, did some buckwheat. It turned out really delicious. And then all we add is our sourdough starter, some oil and some maple syrup. So you often don't add the sourdough starter or sourdough discard to granola, and you don't need to, but I think it adds this incredible quality to it. It groups the granola together and makes these beautiful crispy clusters, and I love that texture. It depends how you like your granola. If you like the clusters in your granola, I think this one would be really good. Oh, and I do also add a little bit of cinnamon as well. And then we just mix it all up, and you can see that the sourdough discard, the starter, is helping it all become nice and sticky, so that when we bake it, again, it gets those beautiful clusters. I would definitely put just a piece of baking paper down for this recipe. We don't want to be scraping each individual oat off the tray. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then we just spread it out on a tray and we just bake it. Super, super simple and easy. I will leave the recipe link to this one down below as well, just the proportions that you need. Okay, I'm sharing another recipe. This one is one of the easiest recipes that I make. These are my banana bars. Super, super easy. We have rolled oats, we have peanut butter, and banana. And that's all it is. And they turn into these delicious bars. My goodness, they're so good. And I actually didn't have enough peanut butter for this one. I ran a little bit short, but it worked out fine, thank goodness. And I just had 2 cups of banana frozen in the freezer. I always feel if you just toss a full banana in there, it might just go in there to die. So what I do is I measure it out and then I put it in the freezer so that I know I can make some banana bars really quick and easy. And again, chopped chips, or I just chopped some chocolate up. You don't need to add this. This is like an optional extra. So I'm just waiting for everything now to come out of the oven. I'm just putting things in one at a time. And here is our granola coming out. Ta-da! So good. And with the banana bars, you just mix it together. And that's all there is to this one. You want just a smaller tray, and again lining it with some baking paper, and we are just going to push it into the tray and just push it down, compact it down. You can use a spoon. I like to use my hands. I always find it just so much easier. I really love baking and cooking in my kitchen with these simple recipes. Nothing too complicated. I just find it so enjoyable. Like with the rain going outside and a candle inside. It's just my favorite way to spend a rainy day. I don't know, I just love it. So now we're just going to break up the granola. So just with your hands, you can just crush it up. Crush it as fine as you like it. And it's going into my jar. I have this jar labeled muesli. I don't know, is this muesli? Is this granola? I don't even know what the difference is. Comment below. What's the difference? Muesli? Granola? What is it? What's the difference? Okay, so now the muffins are going in, and this is what the muffins look like when they come out. They are just divine. These muffins turn out so good every single time. And now our cookies are also ready to be baked. So I just get them out of the fridge. I roll them into balls, like better shaped balls. And then we're just going to bake them. Now, I'm only going to bake 2 at a time because these cookies are huge, and the rest I'm actually going to freeze. They freeze so good, and then you can just bake them when you want them, so you can always have fresh cookies straight out of the oven. Guys, these cookies are amazing. Thanks so much for coming with me. He's my little guy looking out at the rain. He saw me watching him and he gave me a big wave.